Welcome to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, a weekly horror movie review podcast. I'm Tawny Ray.
And I'm Felicia Connor. Subscribe to get new episodes every Wednesday. We dive into trivia, drink a little whiskey, and of course, give our no BS opinions.
Join our Discord server or message us on social media to talk all things scary.
And if you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon.
You can find all these links on our website, twochicksandahorrorflick.com. Thanks for listening.
Now let's get scared.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today we're back, first of all. It's been a while. We're back and we have a very special guest. We're going to be talking about popcorn from 1991. So our guest here is Hope from Jaguar Sharks. Welcome, Hope.
Yay! Hi! I'm so excited to be here. Ever since you ladies were on our show, I was like, oh, I need more of them in my life. And just hearing them in the podcast isn't enough, so.
Oh, love it. We're so excited to have you. And that is a killer shirt.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So perfect. I can't actually tell what's going on in the bottom. Is it a face?
Hold on. It's the guy. It's the dude.
Oh, got it.
Fly,
Okay.
And the mosquito.
And the stink.
And then
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Buy a bag. Yeah, what was it? Buy a bag.
It's the tagline. It's buy a bag, go home in a box.
Right. Yes. Awesome.
So cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hope, I said you were with Jaguar Sharks, but do you want to give a little plug, because we were on your guys' show,
Yeah.
but it's like a sub show. So I just want to kick it to you so you can accurately describe this.
The way I like to say it is Jaguar Sharks is our production company. And then we have sub shows. So what you guys were on was the Film Rescue Show, which was great. Y'all were on Silent Hill with us and that was so much fun. But we also have shows that's Split the Difference and Mind Brain Movies, and just some other pop culture episodes and interviews we do too. So just a little bit everything for everyone, a little something there.
What are can you give us a summary of the other ones? Because I know, obviously being on Film Rescue, kind of what that is. It's a little self-explanatory, but I feel like the other ones I don't know.
So Split the Difference is we take the original and we take the remake of a movie and then we compare them and see the good or the bad, how it turned out. And then Mind Brain Movies is my brainchild, and it's I run that with psychologists, actually, where we take a psychological deep dive into movies and TV shows and kind of break it down from there. So
Interesting.
Up. That is so interesting.
yeah, I found this the psychologist Elizabeth. She's in California. Randomly, she fit the bill perfectly for what I was doing. I was like, I need you. Please come and be with me on this show. And then we've just been best friends ever since. So
That's awesome. Is it just you two, or do you rotate with other psychologists?
Right now we do have a third that comes in occasionally, but she's a bit more hectic with her schedule. So
yeah, understandable. Well, awesome. We're so glad to have you.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm so excited to be here, guys. I know you were away for forever, and then so you all were on a break, and so even as a listener for you guys, I'm like, all right, are they coming back?
This is so my fail, because I always do this though. I'm like, all right, when Tawny's gone, I'm going to record with my little one, TT. And maybe I'll do some other stuff and I'll do mini this and mini that, and did zero of it. So
I don't blame you, because I'm the same way. I'm like, I have all these episodes lined up. And then I'm like, so about that sleep.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yes. What needs to be done? Chores.
Next weekend.
Right,
Exactly. And then Tawny's back. So, okay. We'll just pick up where we left off.
Yeah. Here we are. Okay, so I kind of skipped over this, but let's just do a quick round of what are you drinking. So, Hope, what are you drinking?
So, even though I'm currently in Florida, I'm a Maryland-Baltimore hometown girl. And I have a local brewery, Heavy Seas, and I'm drinking one of their beers. They're Tropicana. I'm I'm a diehard fan of the brewery, so.
That sounds good. It sounds tropical. Is it?
Yeah, it's a citrus IPA.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh
That
my
sounds good.
gosh. I feel like I need to get a drink. I'm sorry. That was very dramatic. But it hit me all at once because it was like, Hope is here. She's having a drink. I literally just got back from Target to buy a bunch of birthday presents so my daughter can go to a birthday party, and I grabbed a water.
I did the same thing.
Water too.
Okay.
I mean, I also did the same thing and I just grabbed water. And so we could break real quick to get drinks because I got some bourbon.
Okay, I'm going to go grab a drink.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now that we've broken to get some drinks to join Hope here. Felicia, what are you drinking?
Oh, Lord.
All of a sudden.
Okay. So all of a
Magically
sudden,
appeared.
I have this gigantic... Okay, so here's the thing. It's Baron Herzog, which is a kosher wine. And last night we celebrated Shabbat, and we poured... I poured the bottle of wine. I have this really cool, like, crystal thing I got for my wedding that I've never used.
Oh, like a decanter?
Yeah,
Or-
a decanter.
Okay.
And I was like, ew, let's do this. I want it to be fancy. So I dumped the bottle in there, but only I had some wine. And I'm like, well, what do we do with the rest of the wine? He's like, honey, you really should use that if, like, there's more people that are going to be drinking wine. And I was like, oh, so then I ran out there. And I just poured the decanter into this giant goblet.
I mean, what else works?
It's Sauv Blanc by Baron Herzog. Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
I also had white wine, actually, and I should have gotten that, but I didn't. I just got bourbon. And my
bourbon.
life is a mess, which is why I'm drinking it out of a pint glass.
And
Nice.
the reason you have ice in it. I'm kidding.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
Well, it's fucking hot. It's a hot day. So I'm like, I gotta cool this down, bro. But I think this is called Basil Hayden. I didn't grab the bottle. But I got a little bottle of it for Jade's birthday. And it was really good. So I'm excited to maybe get a bigger bottle of that later. But nice.
I have something. It is, I believe, and whiskey lovers are going to be like, Felicia, what? But my husband bought this bottle of, we were in between paychecks. So we had to get like the cheaper bourbon, and we got Wild Turkey. And it's really good. We drink it neat. And I'm like, oh, what is this? And he goes, that's cheap whiskey. I'm like, wow, all right. So anybody on in between paychecks on a budget, Wild Turkey bourbon.
Yeah. There you go.
Noted. Okay. Damn, dude, this is good, actually. Like, I hadn't tasted it until now, but it reminds me of that Albert Aberfeldy scotch. It's like kind of sweet, actually. I like it.
Yeah. Basil Hayden, it has that cool like paper on the front of it, right? Like it has like the little metal
Yes, ring.
label is what I'm trying to say with the paper. Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway.
I'm jibber jabbering.
Okay, so do we want to just jump in? I'm not looking at my life's a mess. I already said that. But
Hi. We would love to know a little bit more about you. We would love to know, what do you love most about podcasting? And you know what? If there's anything else you do, any other creative stuff you want to chat about, you totally can share. If not, don't.
I mean, podcasting, I just like that we get to I've met so many people through podcasting, honestly, and it's just fun. It's something I do. It's, like I said, and I get to talk about what I love, man. Like I've always been, like, in college, my like part of my show, Mind Brain Movies, came about because I was a psych major and film minor, and I learned about cinema therapy, which is like therapy through movies. And so, like, I'm combining the two, and I talk about all this stuff. So, like, I just love it. It's like an outlet to, like, talk about everything. And half the time I'm like, I don't care if I'm talking to one person or just the void. Like, I'm just going to do it for me. Screw it,
Yeah, that's how we started, too. We were just like, let's just talk to each other. And then someone listened. And we were like, right, someone likes to listen to us.
And sometimes I'll get messages, like, even now, our group's been doing it for a while, and even now I get messages, and I'm like, wait, you listen? What?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that way constantly, too. But that's awesome. I was going to say, you must like it to do so many different types of shows, even, Yeah,
well, it's also because, like, each show is kind of run by each team member. Like, Jesse has his Split the Difference. Seth's baby was Film Rescue and mine is Mind Brain Movies. And then, you know, so like, even though we all work together, it's still kind of like our own little brain. Again, it's like the production company, like, and then.
Right. That's like a really interesting way to do things too, because then it is sort of like everybody gets to bring their own like thing, like, you know, you with psychology. And so you get like a really nice spread of different like,
exactly,
opinions and perspectives. And it's just really cool.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm just happy to be talking with two chicks right now because it's always dudes. Like I said before, when you were guys on our podcast, I'm like, I'm really tired of the sausage fest, guys. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Girl power. All right. So you've done a ton of episodes with all different types of podcasts, as you mentioned. What is, this is a big glass of wine, so hopefully I can maintain myself by the end of the show. What's one of your favorite episodes you've done, or a couple favorite episodes that you've done that you remember doing?
I'm not gonna lie, we did an interview with actor and director Macon Blair.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved that, like, because he's like a nerd deep down, and I'm like, I love you. Like, and he did one of my favorite lower budget indie horror movies, Murder Party. And so, like, once we got him, I was like, yeah. And he's doing the new Toxie movie coming out, which is another big plus.
The what movie?
The new Toxic Avenger movie, Toxie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He also did, maybe I'm misremembering here, but didn't he also do Blue Ruin and Green Room? Or was he he was part of them?
So, he acted in both. His friend Jeremy Saulnier was the director.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, the one that he directed is on Netflix, which is, I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore.
Oh, yeah.
With Elijah Wood and,
what's her fucking name? We were just talking about her.
I literally just said her name like yesterday. Melanie Linsky. There we go. Because she was on Last of Us. Yeah. So.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet that was really awesome. We'll have to check that episode out.
Yeah.
What is your favorite genre?
Well, my nickname is the Horror Whore.
I meant of horror. That was lame.
Oh,
sorry. I just assumed because we're talking about horror. Oh, my bad.
Subgenre.
Sorry. What is your favorite subgenre?
You're drinking.
I need a little more wine. I'm sorry.
Honestly, I love psychological horror just from my background in psychology. And little side note, so I did a job that had no psychological aspect to it other than fucking up my own psyche. For a while, I was a crime scene cleaner for years.
Right.
So blood and gore does nothing for me. It's just fun for me. So when I get to the psychological aspect, then I'm like, ugh. So
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Do you have anything like notable that you've seen recently, like that was one of your faves in that realm?
Yeah, I would say recently horror. I mean, I haven't really seen too many like newer horror movies lately. Like the last one I saw was Evil Dead. I saw that in theaters. Yeah. You know, listen to that episode.
And she selects us, so.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't compare to the originals, just so you know. Yeah. And I was laughing my ass off when you're like, that little girl can't act. I was dying. I was dying.
You're gonna ask that question right now. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I was at work listening and everyone's like, why are you laughing? I'm like, don't worry about it.
You know what I can't stop thinking about? I don't know if this counts as psychological, but I think I kind of talked a lot of shit and I rated it kind of low, but fucking Infinity Pool, dude. Like, the more...
yeah, I saw that one in theaters as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the more I sit and think about that one, Felicia, and just what you brought to the table on that one, I'm like, God, that was actually like a very good movie. I really ended up liking it in a way that I didn't think.
Yeah, he comes from a line of fucked up body horror dynasty, you know?
Right.
So it's
How could you not?
It's literally in his blood at this point.
Yes, yeah.
The fucking Cronenbergs, man.
Hope you're okay.
Oh my gosh, they're probably some of the emotionally healthiest, happiest people in the world.
Actually,
honestly.
So this makes me think of, there's this, oh my God, I cannot remember his name to save my life, but there's this manga writer who makes this fucked up horror psychological manga / anime called Junji Ito. And everyone's like, oh, he must be like crazy, whatever. And he's like, in his downtime, he's like, has Hello Kitty's plushes and like the biggest, bubbliest person, but he writes this fucked up shit. And so I'm like, that's my idol.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what?
Funny.
I know I've said this before at some point, but whenever I'm in any type of a group that's talking about spirituality or anything like vibrations or anything, they're always grouping like horror in this low vibration, and this is like something you have to give up because it's such low vibration. And I think that's all bullshit, because what would be a low vibration is if I was creating something to actually hurt someone, right? Or it came from where I'm just this negative, gross piece of shit, and I'm, then that would be low vibration. But no one can tell me that Stephen King and the passion he's had for like his whole entire life, and some of these amazing directors that we get to enjoy their movies, are creating anything from anything but passion and love and excitement. And that, I think, is like the highest vibration. And that's why horror people are, so awesome like us.
I was supposed to say, I'm so mad right now because there's a horror convention happening this weekend in Orlando, and usually I go every time, but it just didn't work in my schedule and the budget right now. And I'm like seeing all the photos from it. I'm like, I should be there.
Oh man, it'd be so fun.
I kind of like gave up on Comic-Cons, but I still do my horror conventions. It's a whole other realm. Like,
yeah, were you just at one like not too long ago?
October.
Oh, okay.
So it's been a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
We got to do more of those.
Yeah, for sure.
Hope, why did you bring us this movie? Or wait, let me rephrase that because that didn't come out right. Why did you choose this movie?
So, back when I was in Baltimore, the people who I got this shirt from, they're a local horror shirt making company. They're called Pizza Party Printing. And they were hosting this event of like, they rented out a theater and they got the main actress from this movie, Jill Schoelen. And they were doing a screening of Popcorn with a Q&A with her after. And I had never seen it until then. Like, so I maybe saw this movie like, God, 7 years ago now? Oh God, I don't know. But... So I was like, hell yeah, me and my friend, we all do horror stuff together. I was like, yeah, let's do it, man, And we went and we saw it, and then we did the Q&A after. And I don't know if it was just because of, like, the Q&A after made it special to me. And I got, like, photos with her, and, like, she signed a thing with me. I still make fun of my friend to this day, how I was like, she signed it saying love, and she just signed it, like, without anything on yours, so fuck you.
Yeah.
But I think it's just such an interesting take on a horror movie, because it's like, it was like Inception before Inception, kind of, because it's like a movie within a movie within a movie, and I'm like, and I love that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes.
Very cool. Sounds like a cool
So
experience
even
too.
if you find the movie dumb, it's at least unique.
Yes, it's so unique.
Yeah, definitely I would say that. And I don't think either one of us had heard of it.
No, I've never heard of it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like underground kind of shit.
But I will say I was so happy I had a Shudder account.
Yes,
Because I
it's on
finally
Shudder.
got to watch something on Shudder.
Yes.
Yay!
Yeah.
I broke it.
All the 2 years of paying for Shudder for this one movie.
Yes.
I totally get what you mean though about like buying something that feels, or like just having an experience that's like special, right? Like I was just thinking, look, because we were at that garage sale thing, and we were looking around, and I was like, God, I love being sold shit where people like have a whole story and they like tell me about it and whatever. Like I bought this picture in New Orleans, which I will eventually hang up on this back wall here, where the guy like told me how he made the print and where he went to take the photo, and it just made it like so special and awesome. And like buying that thing was like one of the highlights, if not the highlight, of going to New Orleans, which sounds weird because it doesn't have really anything to do with like sightseeing or anything, but I was just like, this was fucking awesome, dude. And it made it feel so special. And now I get to tell people about it, like when they come over, like, oh yeah, this guy, he does like these prints, old timey prints on this stuff. And I don't know, it just like makes the whole thing feel different. So that's cool that you had a really good experience with this.
The story always makes it, I feel like it's, I'm not gonna lie. So like I said, I did crime scene cleanup before. And whenever someone new comes over to my house, I play a game called What's from a Dead Person Home. Because I definitely take stuff from the dead people's houses sometimes.
What? I want to come over.
So I'm just like, guess what's from a dead person house?
This is like crazy. Decor.
Everything. There's times I'm like, oh yeah, you see that pot I cooked your food in? Got it for free. How? Don't worry about it.
No. And then, of course, my mind goes to fresh, but that's the pan was probably just fine, just in the cupboard,
Right. Yeah, probably wasn't used to prepare human meat, but it might be fucking haunted, so.
Yeah.
I do pick and choose. Like, if I get a bad vibe, first off, like, I'm not just going to take from anybody. Like, I always did it, like, there's no next of kin, no whatever, it was either going to be thrown away or,
Yeah.
Right.
And if I ever got the slightest bit of a bad vibe, I was like, nope. So like, I made sure I was like, okay, I'm not going to be like haunted by this shit if I take it.
This might be a stupid. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, you're like, I've seen enough horror movies. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I pick it up, it feels okay. It's not. There's no clouds or anything that comes. Or this might be a stupid question. So crime scene. So it was a crime, like not people who just died of natural causes or anything like that.
So technically, I was a biohazard remediation specialist.
Okay.
I just say crime scene cleanup because if I say that, people are like, huh? So I'm just like, yeah, I clean up crime scenes. So like, I did everything from crime scenes to, if people died and decomposed, to suicides, to I even just random stuff. And I even did the COVID cleaning when it was like at the height and things like that. So I did it all.
Wow.
I bet like that is just so interesting. Are you still doing that?
No, I'm not. It got too much for me. You're on call 24/7, 365. I had no work-life balance because I was basically in charge of the state of Florida, because that's why I moved down, is I got a promotion, and I'm like, yeah.
I watch a lot of true crime, so you were busy in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me say, in those decomps, they get stank in Florida.
I bet, dude. Oh, it's so hot and humid. Oof. Yikes.
Wow.
But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about popcorn.
I know. I'm like, there's really no good segue out of this other than maybe like the graphics in this movie. I mean, I'm sure they were, realistic, but I was like shocked at how well some of the stuff held up. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, dude, it's the beauty of practical effects. I've always said this. I will always go practical over CGI any day. Even if it's shitty practical, it's still better.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, it was fun. All right. You want to get into it then?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's jump in. Okay, so as you all know by now, we're talking about Popcorn, which was made in 1991. I don't know why I want to keep saying 2021. 1991. Several years before then. It was directed by Mark Herrier, who I looked up to see if he had done other movies, but not really. He's most known for being in all the Porky movies, which I have not seen. I don't know.
What? It's a cult classic.
I've seen those, but I think, I had young parents and I grew up during that time, so all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then for cast, we've got Jill. I was going to say this wrong, and I heard you say it earlier. Jill Schoellen.
Yeah, Jill Schoellen.
Okay, as Maggie. Tom Villard as Toby. Dee Wallace as Suzanne. Dee Wallace was in Halloween, right? Did I make that up? I don't know. I meant to look it up, but I forgot.
She's been on so much, though. She's seasoned, for sure.
Yeah, I could look it up. D-E-E?
Yeah.
I have her. I have the page pulled up. I'll pull it up. Cujo, Critters, The Howling, Hills of Eyes.
E.T. Oh, duh, the mom. Immediately when I saw her, I said, oh, that's the mom from E.T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I remembered her from. But dude, she was in a lot.
Yeah, she's
whoa.
And she's still going, man. She's still acting.
She was also in the Lords of Salem.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I never saw that, but I looked at you, assuming you had Tawny.
Yeah, I have.
thought so.
Yeah.
That's why I said it so excitedly.
Yeah, she's...
But that's what I remembered her from was E.T. The mom from E.T.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, awesome. So, yeah, she's big time. Then we have Derek Rydell as Mark, which was the boyfriend. Malcolm Denary as Bud. Elliot Hurst as Leon. Yvette Solar as Joni. This is a big cast. Freddie Simpson as Tina. Kelly Jo Minter as Cheryl. Ray Walston as Dr. Nisine. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to say that.
I forget how he says his... The memorabilia guy.
Right, yes. The Hollywood memorabilia guy. And then Tony Roberts as Mr. Davis, the instructor. Mm. So I couldn't find any budget numbers, but the box office, I had it at $4,200,000-ish.
Wow.
Yeah, although it did not do well. It was a major flop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big flop. So, and then for scores, I have IMDb gave it a 5.9 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 38%, and Letterboxd a 3.2 out of 5.
Okay.
Okay. Any other notes, thoughts before we move on to 2 minutes of time?
Fun fact: the reason they keep singing reggae is because they filmed in Jamaica.
Oh,
I saw that.
I was wondering with the reggae band, because I don't think of reggae particularly with like 80s or 90s, but there was definitely an influence. So I was curious. That is a fun fact.
Yeah, they filmed in Jamaica to like cut costs, and yeah, they were just like, "Hey guys, you want to make a movie?" And they're like, "Sure."
That's perfect.
Yeah, it did seem kind of random, right? Because it was like, you kind of don't also associate that with like the 50s-y vibe of the movies that they were playing. So I also was like, what is happening? Like, I don't dislike it. I'm just confused, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. But I guess that theater I read is a theater in Jamaica that they used.
Yep.
So
Yep.
That's fucking cool. Like, what a great set. Because I was watching it thinking, God, where did they find this thing? You know, it feels like they would have had to build it, but no.
Yeah, they scored big time.
Yeah, big win there, location-wise. Okay, so I did a pretty short one. Not a lot of people's names because there was such a big cast. So, but I just tried to kind of capture it in a small amount of time. So turn back now if you don't want this movie spoiled for you. And here we go. A college AV club puts on a cinema event to raise money for an editing space. Maggie is our protagonist and part of this club. She has strange dreams of a man with a sword and wants to use this as inspo for her own film. As the kids get ready for the event, they come across an old reel and watch it in the theater. Maggie is unnerved by the movie because it reminds her of her dreams. The teacher explains that the filmmaker Lanyard Gates had made the film and that he intended to kill his family at the end of the movie but was stopped by his wife shooting him as police arrived. He also had locked the audience in and burned it down, but they never found his body. Clearly at this point, Maggie is Lanyard's daughter. Spoiler alert. As the event goes on, the crew of students get murdered one by one until Maggie is captured and our killer is revealed to be Toby, actually, one of the students. He was one of the audience members who was burned in the fire that night and has spent his life making incredibly realistic latex masks to blend in. He's been using these masks to kill the other members of the group. He intends to finish the film by Lanyard Gates by murdering Maggie and her mother. Luckily, Maggie's kind of shitty boyfriend shows up with a belt zip line and kills Toby just in time. The end.
Kind of shitty boyfriend. It's so true, though.
Not majorly shitty, just
kind of shitty.
Kind of shitty.
I'm not even sure if they were actually dating. You know, it's like, I don't know.
You know,
Anyway.
I saw this meme and I wish I went back to find it, but it was how on earth, something along the lines of how on earth did the 80s and 90s convince me that these people were in high school? And it was all these people that looked like they were in their 30s.
like Grease, how there was like 40-year-olds playing like, yeah.
I immediately thought that of the girl he brought to the movies,
Yes.
right? I
Yes.
was like, this is like his neighbors, right? But anyways, I digress. Hope,
Yeah.
how did you feel? And so we know you like the movie because you brought it to us, but how did you feel watching it again?
It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't say if you're looking to be scared, maybe it's not the best, but it's still technically horror. My biggest drawaway is I forgot how good the practical effects were. Everything's practical, and is a true testament to practical horror effects. The whole how the latex faces and everything just and not gonna lie, there's some of those props on that they had on set that I wish I had right now, like the scream clock that like when it like oozed blood. I was like, I want that in my house.
Yeah, it squeezed the
I
heart.
also was like, that was dope. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They had a lot of really cool stuff that I wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What about you, Tawny?
I have mixed feelings a little bit. I'm like, I got into this movie and I was like, oh shit. I was like really enjoying it. I was like, God, this feels timeless. I was like, fucking, I'm so here for this montage of these kids like cleaning up this theater. I was like, yeah, I'm like, why haven't I heard of this? This seems like a regular every Halloween watch, you know, like it was really fun. And I liked that part of it. And then the Toby reveal came in. And I was all, what the fuck is going on? And so that's where it like lost me. And I was like, what? Why? It's like they just decided, oh, her dad coming back to life is too predictable. Like we got to go do like the least predictable thing we can think of just to like throw off everybody from this movie. And I feel like it suffers from that. Like I wish it wasn't like so convoluted, because then it's like you've got this guy with this weird like motive and I just wasn't buying it. And then I did not like the way that he acted once it was revealed, because he was like way over the top. Like, you know, Felicia and I shouldn't speak for her, but I think we both like, we don't really like zany things, like things that are like way over the top. And so it really went into like zany land towards the end.
Mm-hmm. No,
and so I wasn't stoked about that. But aside from that, I was like, I really liked the beginning, and I did like the idea, and I thought it did stand apart in the way that it was kind of this. I saw the word metafiction in one of the reviews that I read that somebody had talked about it, and I was like, that's interesting, because it's like a movie within a movie within a movie, like you said, Hope. So that was really cool and fun, and so I really enjoyed parts of it. So yeah, that was kind of my overall vibe. Felicia, how'd you feel?
I feel the exact same way as you did. I had fun.
Yeah.
I had fun with it. There were, I grew up during that time, right? So when this came out, I was a freshman in high school, and movies were that way. And it's just like, that's how the acting was, and that's how it was. And so
it is.
Yeah.
It's a period piece without being a period piece, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that the acting was silly, but it didn't bother me, I guess, because I know that's just how movies were at that time, and I'm used to it. Versus nowadays, I am really kind of bitchy about the acting, because I know how phenomenal it can
Fuck
be.
that kid.
Yeah, like that little kid, because I know how good it can be, right? So I had fun. I thought it was fun. I was all in this. Oh my gosh, how much I would love to go to a movie theater and have this experience where you're watching these different movies and there's this live stuff happening. Like you get the little stink thing and it's going to be stinky. And like, I thought this was so cool and so fun. And then, it was not scary though, because I think maybe because of the time, maybe it wasn't supposed to be scary. And then the only time, I agree with Tawny, that I started to, my attention started to wane a little bit was the lot of stuff the guy was saying. I was more concentrated. I didn't hear a lot of what he said when he revealed himself at why, when you're a burn victim, you have all those metal things. Now this, I don't know, maybe burn victims do have this, but like, why does he have these metal things all over his face and his head and stuff like that? And I know this seems weird, but I was just transfixed on that. Like, is this real? Does this happen? Like, why does he have these metal things sticking out of his face? You guys look at me like, that's what you were focused on, but it was totally what I was focused on.
I'm thinking, a lot of the times, that's not how a burn victim would be, but if he's constantly applying latex and things, it can fuck up your skin. So he might have done that to himself to like help asphyxiate all the latex that for his disguises. So, because normally it wouldn't be like that.
Okay, I'm
or even
this.
like structure, as you were saying it. Yeah. I was like, I could see how you would want it to kind of hold up the latex pieces. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sold. That's not an issue for me anymore. So, yeah, and I enjoyed it. It was silly, and I agree with the. I guess the reveal when he was like, I was the kid in the front row, so now we're going to reenact this whole thing. I didn't feel the connection, but I guess if I'm really reaching, maybe it's because they were bought into this cult, right? And so
they were a huge part of the cult.
Yeah, they believed in this ending to this movie. So, yeah, but anyways, that's how I felt about it. I'm not sure. I thought it was funny. There was things I really liked.
I must have missed that cult part. Because I didn't pick up on that. But that would make sense.
Yeah, his mom and him, right? We're really into the cult.
Yeah, at the beginning, the professor was like, Lanyard Gates had this entire, like, cult. And he was like, I bought into it until I actually saw him at work. And then he's like, and then I was like, oh, this is real film. I'm not going to do that. So... And then, but there's still, a cult following, I guess, of this dude, so.
Gotcha. Okay, I buy it a little bit more then, too. Because I was like, I thought, because he says, Toby, at some point, he goes, I'm going to reenact this, and it won't burn down. Like, he seemed like he was, more upset at the fact that he got burned, and he wanted to, reenact it so that he didn't have to, he could, recreate that memory for himself almost, right? Yeah. And it's like the thing doesn't burn. So I think I got into that, and I got tunnel vision on that, and I was just like, I'm not buying it. I don't know. But I could see how if you also are bought into this film cult, you want to see it through.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you're selling us.
Piece I liked. Now let's just get into it. I'm going to the end. Okay, so when that mosquito, it started to turn around. I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna kill the guy. And so here it comes, it kills the guy, and I'm kind of smirking. But I don't know why, but that picture of him swinging, right, from the point of view of
his PO,
I just thought that, okay, I'm gonna use a word. I just thought it was really beautiful and touching. I know that's weird. I just, the look of it, I don't know. I thought,
It's something that you don't normally see in horror, though. That's the thing. It's something you normally don't see. That is the one thing I'm coming at this as like a film aspect, more so as like a horror aspect. But again, it didn't scare me. It's more like a comedy-esque horror or whatever. But like, there's so many elements to this movie that why I like it so much is because, you know, it was very metafiction, as you said. It was, no one did that. It was some of the shots they did, like you said, it was beautiful. It was like a very full circle shot, kind of, you know, and it's just, there's so many small little key elements that I really love about this movie. Yes, I agree with both of you, though. Like, the whole at the end, it was like Toby. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, it's dumb, whatever. But I'm still here for the ride, you know. Mm-hmm. But there's so much uniqueness to this film that you normally don't ever see, that it sails me through.
My husband was watching it with me, right? And he kept like looking over at me and then looking at the movie. But then the point where Toby was putting on the different faces and like talking, and he said, "Oh, that's really cool."
Yes. Because no one does that. Like,
it's well done.
Yeah, and it looked cool. It looked really like good and well done. Even when they made that mask of that other guy, right? And he was like being Mr. Davis. I was like, damn, dude, these fucking masks actually are like very realistic. And look, I mean, it might have been him, right? And they just put some latex over him. But I just was like, well done, you know, like that looked really great. Tiny note, just back on the mosquito. One of my notes that I took down that I thought was very funny and it made me laugh is when he pulled out that other remote control and then like made the antenna longer. I don't know why, but that's very funny to me.
My antenna's bigger.
I loved it.
I've got more reach.
I think it's really cool. So at first I thought that the movies they were watching were actual old movies. And then I was looking going, wait a second, that actor is a modern actor. So those were all movies filmed within movies. That is so cool. Okay.
Yeah, I have a note about this that will get there, so bear with me. So, like after 3 weeks of shooting, the main character Maggie was replaced. So that it was Amy O'Neill, and they replaced her with Jill Schoelen. And then they also replaced the director. So originally it was director Alan Ormsby, and actually, we'll go back another step after this, but that person was replaced after 3 weeks by Mark Herrier, who was the person ultimately credited for this. But Ormsby is credited with directing all of the main films within the films. So I also found this like very interesting. And one of the reviews I read, I should have taken a note on who was talking about it, but said that that's like the most interesting part of this film is there's kind of like a commentary on those types of movies from the 50s, right? Because it's like parodying those within this movie set in the 90s. And I thought that was really interesting, and how there was like a direct correlation from each movie to a real life movie. So it was different, but it was similar. Mm-hmm. I was like, what is this saying? Dude. You know, you've got like the fear of the like nuclear option with the mosquito.
Yep.
They weren't really that scared
the
though.
Stink movie with like, And the thing is, the Stink movie was a foreign film too.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was Japanese movie.
Yeah. So and during the 50s, that was like right after like the World War and like nuclear and all that. And
I didn't even think of that. And then capital punishment as well.
Yep. It's so layered. Like this is the like the little nuances I love about this film that like get to me.
Yeah. I did find that part really interesting. And I think there's probably more worth diving into about, you know, just like an analysis of that, you know?
Yeah.
but I wasn't able to do a whole lot of research into that specifically.
I loved how that mosquito, I just have to say, was so giant. But then
it's a giant part of my shirt.
Yeah.
Like the mosquito was amazing.
I loved it.
It was so good.
But in the black and white movie, how its head fit in a window, right? And they're just like, and I was like, just stab it in the head. But they're like, right? But then the scene, I just love this. And I know it's supposed to be silly. All the bombs, right? Yeah. And it's just like,
yeah.
pew, pew. And they're like, we need to drop an A-bomb. So good.
President, we need the Navy, the military, the Marines, everything.
But if you think about it, the mosquito is really not that big. Like, we probably could kill it very easily with a gun.
Yeah, true.
Worst case of bazooka. Worst
case of bazooka, exactly. Funny.
You're like, my down the street neighbor probably has one of those. You know, like we can get it. It's fine.
Shit, I'm in Florida. We're packed down here.
Yes.
Same, dude. Idaho. Yep. I'm like, I could walk down the street and be like, bro, what do you got? Right. Artillery wise. We got this like kind of big mosquito flying around. Can you take care of this?
I mean, it's pretty big, but like
for a mosquito, yeah. You got some bear mace though. I'm sure we can take this thing down, you know?
Let's say, just ask anybody from Australia. They got you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what else I thought was funny? That was kind of like a weird commentary is like the weird romance subplot in that. Was it that one or was it the other one? I think it was in both.
They had that. Let's kiss all of the sudden in the.
Yeah. There was something to that. And I was like, I haven't fully fleshed out my thoughts on this, but I was like, yeah, I like how this is kind of like it's kind of making fun of the fact that every movie seems to have this like romantic subplot. And eventually we moved away from this, but I don't think in the 90s that we had. So maybe it was kind of a, condemnation.
At the very last scene, instead of them like kissing, she was like, just hold me. So it was, I guess, like a development of like, we don't need this. Although I will say at the beginning of the movie, it gets me every time. She's like, I want to practice safe sex and having sex with you is not safe. And I'm just like, if this isn't a goddamn 90s PSA, right? I don't know what is.
It's so great.
I was getting such like huge PSA vibes. Like I was like, am I watching Captain Planet right now? Like
that was totally after school special level right there.
Oh, that's funny. I thought she just meant like, you're a bad boy. You know, she was like, can't even start it, you know?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. But like, to me, I just got PSA vibes. Like,
I did too. I thought it was like a...
Because that was a huge part of the 90s. All these PSAs. You had it constantly throughout like TV shows and everything. Like constant. So like that was, I guess, another maybe like play on it too. I don't know. But
she's like, I'm focused on my studies. Thank you. I cannot. Right.
This is important for my future.
Yeah. Right. Oh my God. Oh, wow. I loved how when they were like, oh, will anybody really want to go to our festival? Or should we even do this? And then it was like the biggest, most successful, like at the whole town. Like, why were you even doubting it? Apparently the entire little town are massive horror fans. They were even dressed up. Right. It was amazing. I'm like, shit.
The dude with like the extra head. Yeah. The dude with the head that was like puking. And I'm like, that's just a goer, not even a worker.
You guys should be doing this quarterly. Like, what?
Right. Shit. This is like, I wish I got this big a turnout. God damn.
Yes. Yeah. I was also thinking, damn, this is like, it feels like people traveled to be a part of this. How did they market this event?
Yeah, they were so worried about in the beginning. Well, who's going to even want to come? Are we even going to make money doing this?
Right. I'm like, this is like pre-internet. How do they get the word out?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just
like
flyers.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, you know what drives this over?
The only thing I can say is like they were on a college campus. It was college students. So like if it depends, they were said they were in California first off. So, you know, if they're at a college in California, you're already pretty big. So I can, that's my only thought process.
I missed that. I thought they were in high school.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
it's definitely college.
Okay, so I take back my comment of how, the meme that I told you about in the beginning.
But I know what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Okay. It makes a little bit more sense.
It is, though. They do feel like high school kids, though. Like, the way that they act, I feel like they... So I call them kids, like, in my recap and everything, because that's what it feels like. You still get the vibe of, like, high school students putting on a thing.
If they were all, like, freshmen or sophomores in college, they're pretty much still kids. So.
Yeah. This is true.
Very close in age, yeah. But totally, it was a hit, and I was like, God, this looks fun, dude. Like, it would be so... It was like a convention. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and just everything like, even when the big mosquito came out during the prime time of the movie, I said to my husband, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to go to an event like this. This would be so cool. And that little goodie bag that was all customized to the movie. Sign me up. I would love to do this.
The closest thing I know of anymore is like Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the closest thing, but that's the only thing I don't see anything else. And I'm like, we should bring this back.
We should.
Like,
we all live in separate locations, but let's do it.
Once a year, we convene in like Utah. And, like,
yes.
This
somewhere
is
in between.
The prime area for us to be doing this.
Honestly, though, it would
fun.
be so fucking fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And actually, I have a note on this. So it was, they were inspired by, oh God, did I actually take a note? Should I just do this by memory? I'm doing it by memory.
Do it.
Bear with me.
Do it.
It was inspired by William Castle. So like he did these like gimmicky types of things.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Where he would play these movies and like do the gimmicks. And I don't know, I feel like maybe he made them up himself. I'm not entirely sure. Or maybe some of the movies were intended. Like 13 Ghosts. The original 13 Ghosts was intended. It was like a gimmicky movie. You put on different types of glasses, like red or blue glasses, to be able to see or not see the ghosts. And so it wasn't like 3D, but it was like gave you a different experience. Mm-hmm. And so he set up these movie-going experiences where people would, it was like a House on a Haunted Hill, the original one.
Yeah.
Where there was like a skeleton and he would like, just like the mosquito, put it on ropes and like throw it towards or over the audience. And so he actually ended up becoming like a pretty prominent like director or somebody just in Hollywood in general. He produced Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
And so he's like a big name in movies in general for that reason. And I was like, damn, this seems so fun. And it was such a draw. That's why he got the like notoriety that he did. And he ended up getting into making movies. Why hasn't this like kept being a thing? I was thinking, do we even have any gimmicky things? Only 3D is what I can think of, right? 3D or maybe like IMAX, like big screens.
The closest I can think of is like if you were to go to, like I had season passes to Universal, and the closest thing would be like there's this Minions like ride, but it's not a ride. It's like a show, and then like you would go and move and like the wind's in your face, or like, it was like if there's one part like where the Minions are walking, like you feel them like moving you when you're walking. Like that's the closest thing is like amusement park rides.
Yeah.
Or
what do they call it?
Like
4D.
Yeah, or the closer thing I should say is in, God, I don't even know if it's still there because this was like 12 years ago when I did it. When I went to Disneyland, there was A Bug's Life, and like same thing, like water and the wind, but like the one thing I remember the most is the ants are moving, and I felt bumps under my ass, like because them like walking me, and I was like, what? Like,
were you on a ride, or you were sitting watching the movie?
It wasn't like the movie, but it was like
an experience,
a short that they made up specifically for this. Mm-hmm. So it was like a 10-minute movie, and like,
that's cool.
Yeah.
But those are the closest things. Is like they're still all amusement parks. They're not like just a normal experience, I should say.
Yeah, because I was thinking, when I went to Universal for the Jurassic Park ride, and there was the dinos and stuff, and it was really cool. But it's a ride. I'm going to a music park, and I'm going on a ride. Like, I know the theater up here, the Majestic, in Arizona, they try to do things with like old horror. They did Rocky Horror Picture Show and stuff, but I don't know that there's a whole lot. It's just if I show up dressed up. Right. This was like there was so much put into the whole experience for the people that showed up. So people showed up dressed up, but then there was all this extra stuff, which is just so cool. I really think we should be doing this somewhere. We should, I don't know. We should figure something out.
I think this would be such a hit. Like, if nothing else, if you take nothing else from this movie, it's let's all get together.
Yes, our future plans.
Let's all get together and make this happen. Like,
because
without the murder, but
right? Yeah, no murder. Because there's really this, like, those movies that we're playing would be like silly. It wouldn't be something that I would seek out to watch normally. Yeah. But in this type of environment with what's going on, it would be a blast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's a perfect movie for this. So this is a legitimate movie. It's like from 1952, and it's called Attack of the Giant Leeches.
Okay.
It's this black and white film. It's called Attack of the Giant Leeches, and the tagline is "Fear will pierce your flesh," and like, and you just see like the heads of these leeches, and it's like, "Meh." Like,
oh, this would be perfect. We'll even okay. Is there money out there listening to us that will help us put this on? We'll come up with the ideas if you can get all the stuff together and the location.
Sugar daddies unite. Let's get this.
Unite. Yes, we'll come up with all the creative ideas. We just need, the funds.
Right.
Yes. God, what a blast. You know what I will say too about this like crew of kids? I'm gonna go back to calling them kids.
Who cares? They're kids.
All. Yeah, I liked them all.
Fun.
Yes.
And I felt like they were like, we didn't get any like major character development or anything because there was like definitely no time for that. But I was like, I like all these people and they all have like their own thing and felt like they were different, real people.
Yeah, they were over
nice.
the top and silly, but in a very not loving,
quirky.
Like I loved them. Like, I'm not thinking of the word, but, you just really like them, even though it was not realistic how they were. It was not that it wasn't realistic, but, it was just kind of over the top. It was 90s acting.
Yeah, it was 90s.
But they're lovable. Endearing.
Yeah.
I guess. Maybe.
Endearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Endearing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. All of them. They're running around and doing all this stuff. And I was just like, all right.
Yeah, I was like fucking here for it. I was like, yeah, make your jokes. I don't know.
All of that drama and death and fear. And then our main girl who totally gave me Heather's vibe, Winona Ryder, Heather's. Yes. And I loved it. But she comes out and she's like, hey, babe. No. Oh my gosh, you should be in a movie. Look at me. After all this, still thinking about movies. I'm like, you are not at all traumatized. By what just happened. Go girl.
Again, it's in her blood. She was a cultist child, so
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
That was traumatic enough. Nothing else is going to top that. I also, let's just say that this fucking part of the movie, I was like, is incredibly disturbing and awesome. I loved it that he was going to like kill his family. He had her on acid. Like they just like very briefly mentioned that at some point. I was like, Jesus. I know that also felt kind of 90s PSA that it was like, be scared of acid,
as you're popping this shit, like.
Right. But whatever, I was like here for it. I was like, okay, I like that this feels like some weird combo of 90s, social panics. We've got acid, cults,
sex.
I don't even know. Yeah,
not
sex.
Safe sex.
Oh my God.
All these things.
Dude, if I could go back to 90s problems, I'd be so happy.
Yeah, right.
I'll take them. Yeah.
Right?
I have to agree when it started and they had this weird tape. Oh, don't open. There's this tape. Don't watch it. I started to think of things like Antrim or like these supposedly these tapes you shouldn't watch, right? And then he was talking about, oh, this cult. Oh, bing. Like this is like check, check, check. I'm starting to get excited about this. And they all take drugs and they record. And then the true crime aspect. Then he took his whole family on stage and murdered them. All of this is very scary, and I was here for it. I was here for that storyline.
It's really dark.
Up. It's psychologically fucked up, and like I said, that's more my shtick, you know.
Yeah. Like I think, like I thought in that moment, oh, I want to watch that Antrim, but you know, I don't think anything will happen. But then part of me is like, my life's going real well.
Oh, I've seen Antrim. I don't know if I want to
screw it up. Okay,
okay. No, I've seen Antrim. Okay. You're good. I was actually not gonna lie, I was a little pissed.
Okay.
I was like pissed off because I was like, I was expecting shit, and everything is fake on fake on fake. Like the story, like I thought it was like legitimately based on like a true, actual like event, and there's like, no, we made everything up, and I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like even if like the curse of watching it wasn't real, like okay, cool, whatever, but like I was like, you literally made everything up. Fine, okay. Not to say the movie isn't, not to say the movie's bad, but like that aspect, I'm like, man, I wanted something real.
Yeah.
I really wanted the building to burn down. Damn it! Like.
I'm glad I won't be bringing in like any death or bad things into my home if I watch it though. One of my kids was like, let's watch it. And I'm like, oh shit. So am I now the person
that
people are watching me going, don't do it, you idiot.
Yeah.
Like maybe
you
we
are
should
curse free from Antrim. So.
Okay, cool.
I give my blessing.
I was just thinking we probably should do that though, because it was one of the first things we talked about in one of our very first episodes, and we're like,
I remember listening.
We were scared to watch it, dude. We were scared just in case.
Yeah, I remember listening to that episode, and I'd already seen it, and I was like, just fucking watch it. Like I was like, just fucking watch it.
We should watch it.
Well, at some point, I think like 6 months, a year later, we were like, should we do it? And then we were like, no, it's probably going to be really disappointing. Yeah. And so we've put it off, but we should just to experience it.
We
Full
said,
circle that shit.
It's probably going to be disappointing, which it probably will. But really in the back of my mind was like, just in case.
Just in case I don't want to die.
Yeah.
I'm currently still alive.
Okay, so this is good. She is happy, you know.
Yes.
Okay, so
living life.
I am still alive. I am here. No, at least I'm not cursed from that. At least I might be cursed from some other stuff, but not that.
Not that movie. Okay, that's good.
Okay. Yeah. I did also take a note just on that person, right? Like the character of Lanyard Gates was very loosely inspired by an eccentric Brazilian filmmaker named Jose Mojica Marin. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
I did not know.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I looked it up and I didn't get like when they say loosely inspired, I think they mean like pretty loosely. Like this guy had made a series of films where he was starred in them with his very long fingernails. And then that like looked creepy a little bit, I guess, but like that, I don't know. That seemed like the extent of it. Like he seemed to be passionate about filmmaking and he liked being in these movies and he liked, like one of the quotes I read from him was something to the effect of like, there's two versions of man. There's like you with your friends and your family. And then there's like you alone with your like thoughts basically. And like,
that's a very Asian centric thought. Actually, because like they have the oni masks, and I know in a lot of, especially like Japanese philosophy, you're always wearing different masks, so that's
interesting.
That's creepy, and so then it's like that.
Yeah, like who are you really? Like with your like, you know, like your actual human animalistic nature, and I think that is like something that you know comes through in a lot of different movies and a lot of different themes and stuff.
Bring him back in Infinity Pool.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Dude, also so many tie-ins because the possessor, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Also Brandon
so good.
Cronenberg. Weird. Anyway, but I just thought that was interesting. But this guy definitely wasn't like trying to kill people on film or anything that I saw, at least. So
now I want to see this guy with the creepy long nails.
you should see. I looked up the pictures.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
they're not.
did? Is it creepy or no?
They're not that long. Like,
Okay.
like the Guinness
Like,
World
are they
Records.
Coke nails? Is
Yeah,
that what
like
it
Coke
is?
nails? Or are they like really?
No, they're more like Coke nails, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
not the like so long that they've started to curl type of deal.
Okay.
No.
Like the Guinness, you were saying.
That's
Guinness
what I'm
book.
talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Guinness World Records now. But again, this is another part of this movie that I was like, man,
Cocktails.
we got layers.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
It was a
later.
delayed hit for Felicia. Oh, wait.
It was because it's just all these ideas.
I also was all, what? No. Oh, wait.
You see
Yes.
in movies that all their nails
Yes.
are good except their pinky. Yeah, Coke
Yeah.
nails.
The Coke nail.
Is all of them, every nail. Anyway, but I just was like, yeah, the people who made this clearly had a lot of references to other movies and other people, and there was a lot of thought that went into it.
Yeah, and I think that ties in with the fact that it was this movie was for maybe not necessarily horror people, but movie people.
Yeah.
So
100%.
and I think this is a good like gap bridger for people who may not like want to go into horror, but they still like movies. So it's like, you know.
Yeah, it was fun. I wish I had been drinking when I watched it, to be honest, because it feels like one of those movies that you would have fun drinking like with your friends and watching.
Or just get really high.
Yeah, that too.
I wasn't drinking when I watched it.
Yeah. Also sober. And
Also sober.
It was a worse experience, I think. I have one more tie-in that I think is going to be really interesting from like a movie perspective, specifically for you, Felicia. Hope you probably know this already. So originally they actually, I think, went to Bob Clark, who did Black Christmas, to direct this movie. But he didn't want to direct another slasher right after Black Christmas. So he's the one who passed it over to Alan Ormsby, who was the first director that ended up getting replaced. But I thought that was really interesting, and he acted as like a non-credited producer on the movie. And I first noticed his name in the credits because it has him credited as like a special effects person.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow, that's fucking interesting.
Oh,
that there's
that
a little
is.
bit of tie-in with Bob Clark.
Very cool. You know what? I actually thought about that movie right before I watched this one, because I was telling the people at work, I was saying, because they always ask me, oh, what are you recording this weekend? Are you going to be recording anything? And I was like, oh yeah, we're recording popcorn. Our guest is bringing it to us. And I sent the picture, and I was like, yeah, it's like old movie from the 50s. And so I pulled it up and I'm like, oh shoot, this is from the 90s. And I was like, okay, but the picture, the movie poster looks like it's from the 50s. And I was trying to like defend myself, and I was sharing the picture with them and the movie. And
now you can, because they were showing movies from the 50s.
Yes, but the movie poster reminded me of an old movie. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, I really hope I like this, because I like Hope and I want to make her happy. And I was like, but you know what, Felicia, you just may. First of all, you're a child of the 90s. And second of all, you loved Black Christmas. Like, loved it. So you never know when you're going into an older movie if you are going to fall in love or not. You just never know. I was shocked that Tawny liked the Bad Seed. I was shocked. And she liked it, and I was very excited about that. I don't know where it's going with that. I'm just jibber-jabbering.
I think that's still our only 50s movie we've done.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if that's my sign of like a good episode. If I don't go off into the weeds somewhere, then you know, what am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Exactly. We should.
Yeah, you got to get in the weeds.
We should just kind of delve into more 50s. I know when I was a teen and I went into my I was depressed and staying up all night watching AMC 50s movies, and I watched a lot of really good ones.
There's so many good ones.
Yeah.
Oh, so speaking of, we did this one on one of our other episodes, Split the Difference of The Thing, like John Carpenter's The Thing, versus the original from the 50s, which is A Thing from Another World. And that was from the 50s. And it was like, there's dumb shit because it's from the 50s and it was like totally like, oh, communism. But like, it was actually like pretty fun to watch. Like, I loved it. Like,
yeah. There's some deep
It's so
stuff.
nice to be surprised.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I just keep talking over you. I was just saying there's some deep stuff, right? The effects and stuff aren't going to be as good, but I think they have really good, like the meaning and the message behind some of the movies.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised by The Bad Seed. And I was surprised by this movie too. Like I did go in just the poster alone because I had to Google it just to figure out how to watch it. So I saw the poster and I was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, this is...
I know.
This feels like...
Tawny. I'm like, ooh.
This is going to be a zany 90s movie. Yeah. And it was, but it kind of wasn't, you know? So
Yeah.
I feel like I liked a lot more of it than I thought I was going to, just on very...
It's no mass. I will be the first to say, like, I'm a huge proponent of, I would get together with like some of my friends, like, and we would have what I call like bad horror movie nights, where we'd get like bad horror movies, B horror movies, and we watch them. And I love them. Are they masterpieces? Hell no. But I love them.
Yeah.
And this is one of those, like, is it a masterpiece? No. Is it the greatest film? No, but I still love it, you know? So like even if it's like I'm probably not going to give this movie the highest rating, but I still love it because it's still that campy, you know? And that's the one good thing about horror. I feel like horror can get away with being bad and still being good, whereas other genres can't.
No, you're
I
absolutely
agree.
right. Yeah, I remember the first time with Tawny watching Friday the 13th. You know, the original Friday the 13th, watched it for the first time on the podcast. And you know what? I had the time of my life. I had so much fun with that movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I did not hate this by any stretch. Like, I've hated movies where I've turned it on and been like, God damn it, this is like pissing me off. Halloween 3. You know? Fucking hated that
Season
movie.
of the Witch? Yeah, but we had so much fun.
We had fun talking about it because I talked mad shit about that movie. That's what you're remembering. I gave that a 0.5.
You're like, fuck this shit. This is not my Silent Hill.
Yes, hate that movie for very different, very specific reasons. God, that was so therapeutic. I felt like I'd been waiting my whole life for that moment. So thank you.
Hey, if you need more therapy, come to our show. We'll give you all the therapy you want.
Yeah. But yeah, I did not feel that way about this movie at any point. I was like, there were moments where I was like, this is getting a little weird, and they like definitely overthought this and put too many ideas in, and I didn't like the overacting of Toby specifically. But you know what? Yeah. I was fucking here for everything else. I didn't mind the overacting of anybody else. I liked the characters. It was a fun ride. This feels like a very easily forgotten, right? I mean, just in the beginning part, my last note here on just the box office is, it was such a box office disappointment in the US that in many markets, it bypassed the first run cinemas and was directly booked into second run / discount cinemas. So no wonder we hadn't heard of it. Yeah. Right. And so it's become kind of a cult classic.
It was the 90s equivalent of like a Redbox exclusive.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so it's like, no wonder you haven't heard of it, but I think it's worth like checking out. I think especially around Halloween, it feels like a fun Halloween movie to me, you know?
And it gets you on Shudder, like Felicia said.
Yeah. Everybody want to use their Shudder account for something? Go watch Popcorn.
Yes.
I love my Shudder account. I watch so much on Shudder, and the fact you're like, what kills me is you're like, oh, we do this horror podcast. I'm like, oh, she uses Shudder all the time.
I think because all the movies, for whatever reason, we don't pick it by where it's available, right? We
Right.
want to watch this movie. We're picking it. And I'll always go to Shudder to see if it's there, and it's not. So not that there's nothing good on Shudder, just the things that we have decided to watch for whatever reason is never on there. And
Shudder's a lot more like indie kind of horror. So that also doesn't.
You guys, you were the one that opened my mind to that. One of my actual favorite subgenres is folk horror, right? That was on your episode, was it? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think we talked about folk horror on your episode, and that opened my mind. And the reason I'm saying that is because when I logged into Shudder to watch this movie, it said folk horror, and I'm like, oh, that's me. What's under this one?
Me.
I don't know how to work it though, because I clicked it and it's just something started playing and I wasn't sure I wanted to watch that.
Oh, you have to go to the subject, because if you click it, it'll spit out like a random one. But if you go to the actual categories, there will be a sub thing for it. So.
Okay. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, because it just started happening. I'm like, no, I don't know if I'm here for this. I'm not ready.
It's like on Netflix where you're like, oh, I can't decide. So like, it's that choose for me thing. But like, but if you actually go into like the categories, there is a subgenre, the folk horror.
Okay.
Good to know.
I was going to say something to Tawny's comment. I don't remember now, but it was fun. No, that was fun because I learned how to use Shudder and this was great. But I think I agree with you. Oh, yeah, I agree with you, Tawny. It was a fun ride. I have watched movies where literally while I'm watching it, my heart is racing. I'm so pissed off. Like I'm so mad that whatever the reason is, I'm writing my notes down for Tawny and I'm ready. I did not feel this way at all when I was watching this. I was having fun. I was looking at my husband. We were rolling our eyes. We were laughing. We were also saying good things about it. So it was fun. I had a fun time.
And that's what I like about it. You know, just like I said, it's no masterpiece, but as long as you have a good time, you know.
Yeah.
All right. You guys think we're ready to rate it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hope, do you want to go first as our guest?
Sure. So I might be a little biased. I had the whole movie going in the theater with the Q&A experience and everything. Plus, like, I was super jazzed about watching it again with you girls. So, like, everything's a little bit hyped for me. So if my score's a little higher, that's why. Again, it's by no means perfect, but I'd say, like, 3.8.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
So, and... you know, just because it is so unique too. That's the thing. Like, even if it's not the Gerudo Swarm, it's so goddamn unique, and I got to give it uniqueness points. You know.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's really fair.
Mm-hmm. I'm just staring at Tawny. We take our scores really overly seriously. Like anybody's. Well, you know, maybe people are like, what do the two chicks feel about this movie?
And again, that's why I said uniqueness points. Like, that, you know, I had to.
It was a fun conversation too. That's what's really getting me is that I just had a blast talking about
mosquito
this
man.
Movie. Yeah.
You were jazzed about that mosquito. You were so jazzed about that mosquito.
this death, the chaos around him as he swings from the mosquito. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
It's like
the drama.
It's a poem. Some Shakespeare shit.
Yeah.
Yes. You made me rethink it. I might go a little higher because of your uniqueness points. I think that's a fair assessment. I think I might go up to 2.85.
Very nice. Okay.
2.85. Because I was gonna give it a 2.75. But I think you're right, Hope. It is unique and it is fun. And it didn't leave me feeling like gross at all. Like, like I will say about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Fucking hated that movie, but this was like, it was fun. And my cutoff, is 3. And so it's like 3 is like what I recommend that somebody watch it. I would caveat this one and say I would recommend watching this if you're with friends, having a good time, drinking or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I think this would be a perfect, fun movie for that.
Yeah. Like I said, I know my score was a little higher, but that's because like I'm coming from a background of like I got the Q&A experience, I got all that,
Yeah.
so like I got the inside scoops, and so
yeah.
I mean, I have
that's
the
really
goddamn shirt, I have an autograph, like
Oh, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
That's just next level. All right, so I'm feeling really good about my score because of your guys' scores. I'm going to come in at a 2.95.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I was looking at some 3s and I was like, gosh, I'm just not sure. But we had such a fun conversation. It was a fun movie. And I don't have I love Tawny's. If it's this score, I'm saying you should watch it or you shouldn't. I definitely think, I don't think I have that level. I think you should totally watch it like Tawny said. If you want to have fun, if you absolutely, and compared to some of my other things that were 3s or a little bit lower than 3, I like this one more than some of the ones I scored lower than 3. So yeah, anyways, I'm just humming and hawing. 2.95. I feel really good about that.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good spread of scores.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
and I'm
all within the same kind of.
Yeah, and I'm like not upset by those, because like I totally see the aspects of it. Like I know I am a bit biased. I came in with it. Like I get, because it wasn't like scary and like and but it's so different, man.
The scores, I have to say, it's really hard with scores because I had a fun time watching it, and I had an even more fun time talking to you both about it. This has been a blast. Makes me want to score it a 5. It's when I look at all the scores and now start stacking the movies I've scored this compared to this, that it gets all convoluted. But oh my gosh, if you want to get together with your friends and have a fun time and laugh and
make your own dress up theater experience.
Do it.
Everyone get together in like a random ass costume and just have a blast.
Yeah, because when I score, I know it's literally against other movies that I've seen and that I've scored. But the experience of talking to you about it and watching it and chatting about it has been epic. So
even just like researching it was really interesting, because I was thinking like, oh, there's probably not a bunch to talk about this movie because it was so like underground. I wondered, there's probably not a lot of information. And then I read through the trivia on IMDb and there's not a lot on there either. So I was like, there's just not a lot. But then it wasn't until I went to Wikipedia where I uncovered like the references to that real life director and William Castle and Bob Clark that I was like, shit, there actually is a lot. You just kind of have to dig for it,
Well, not even just that, but like another thing too is with like Tom Villard. He was actually like, so this is before like you could live through AIDS, but like he was ill with that, and so he was still shooting up till then.
Oh wow!
So,
okay,
yeah, because he died in like 94.
Wow, yeah, like not long after this.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he was, and I remember in the Q&A, Jill was talking about that, how she was like so upset she'd be on the phone with him sometimes and like talk him through things after their experience together, because even though she came in late, she didn't work with too many of the other actors, but she worked with him a lot, so they got close. So and again, this is just like extra why I scored it more, because I have like that background knowledge.
Well, thanks a lot for bringing that up after.
I'm sorry.
After we give it lower than 3s, well, let me just drop this. No, I'm just kidding.
Let me drop this bomb. Drop the A-bomb on the mosquito.
Yes, yeah. Call Washington is one of the other things they said. I was like, what? Call Washington.
Oh, God. I want to see that movie.
Yeah, this was a blast of a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I want to rewatch with some friends while drinking. But thank you again for being on and bringing us this movie.
No, this was amazing. Like I said, I've been so jazzed about like coming on the show and like I love working with you gals. Like I really do. So
this was fun. This was so chill. This is like 3 chicks in a horror flick today.
Yeah.
So we're gonna rename the show now, and I'm gonna be
another podcast for you to do.
Yes, down, totally down.
Not busy enough as it is.
Add it to the pile. It's fine.
No, but we'd love to have you again. This was so much fun.
Yes,
and just like
anytime,
really
ladies.
natural and comfortable, and just such a blast.
Yeah.
Well, once you bash a movie together, you can't go back.
You're tied for life.
Yes.
But Hope, if you want to share, like, where do you want people to find you? What do you want them to know?
Yeah. Yes. So if you want to, especially if you want to hear these lovely ladies on our podcast that we did, you can look for Jaguar Sharks. We're on Instagram. We're Jaguar Sharks Pod on TikTok. We're Jaguar Sharks on Twitter. And, we're on any place really where you get any of your podcasts. And we do this whole array. And like I said, shout out to these ladies that we did the Silent Hill episodes for our film rescue. So look out for that, because that was a lot of fun too. So
that was a blast.
Yeah, so fun.
Love it. All right. Go check Hope out. She's amazing. The podcast is amazing. Absolutely loved having you. Can't wait to have you again.
Yes. Same with you guys.
Awesome. We'll talk to you about anything. Next week, we are going to talk about, I am forcing Tawny to watch Piggy. Have you seen Piggy? Okay. I saw Piggy when I was pulling all-nighters to catch up with 2022 movies, right?
Yeah.
That was last year, right? Yeah. To catch up with the movies, and I was watching it, and she already knows that I really liked it. And then we did, and I'm not gonna leak anything, but Hope, have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay, so we did February Romance. And this movie came to my mind, and then I just became obsessed with Tawny watching this movie. So we are going to be watching Piggy next. And
digging it.
Yeah, nice. If you would like, or if you like us, you can find us on Instagram at twochicksandahorrorflick, and that will lead you to every other place that you can find us. Or you can go to your favorite social media platform and look for Two Chicks and a Horror Flick. You'll find us there. And what else, Tawny?
If you want to support the show, you can give us a like, review, and subscribe on whatever podcatcher you're listening to us on. But that's it. So thanks again, Hope.
Yes.
Definitely check all of Hope's things out. She's so busy. And then we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night. No nightmares.
No nightmares.